Take it easy, baby, not too fast. When it comes to loving, you know I last. Lord have mercy, darling, please. You're everything that's so poor boy might ever need. It's all or nothing. You know what I mean. And when it comes to loving, I want you to know it's guaranteed. She'll get away wherever she wants. She'll have you crying. Please don't stop. Lord have mercy. It's all the same. Another man's pleasure is another man's pain. It's all in nothing. You know what I mean. And when it comes to loving, I don't you know she bring the guarantee. She's got me begging now, Lord, she got me on my knees. Yeah, it's all or it's nothing, babe. You know what I mean. She's been breaking hearts forever.
Coming to us live from Jacksonville, Florida. How are you, Curt Towne?
I'm fantastic. What's up, Doc? How are you doing?
Oh man, very excited to have you with us. And you know, I was telling you off air, and I want to tell everybody on air. You give me hope that Southern rock is here to stay. I want to thank you for that.
Well, I'm very humbled by that, and thank you very much. That was not our intention. We were just trying to write, you know, the best songs that we could and be honest and sincere. So, but growing up where I did and having the utmost respect and admiration and love for all those guys, I humbly thank you.
Well, you know, and I can tell in your voice you're very humble, and I do appreciate that because I grew up in very humble means as well. But I'm gonna embarrass you here real quick, okay?
Oh.
So
Okay.
just bear with me, okay? Because I'm gonna read some. I'm gonna read some of the reviews, and
All right.
for all of our classic rock guys out there, yeah, you're gonna be salivating, but hang on. Okay, here we go. Curt Towne is one of the best players to come out of Jacksonville in a long, long time. The Curt Towne Band is old school, just like I am. Rock and roll at its best. Here's to the Curt Towne Band. Keep rockin', brothers. And by the way, who said that? Oh, well, let me think. Johnny Van Zant, Leonard Skinner. I've never heard of the guy, okay? No, we're not done. I got two more for you. Curt and his band should be playing the world's largest stages. Curt can play anything. I look forward to seeing them do just that. Bobby Ingram, lead guitarist Molly Hatchet. Oh, my. Are we salivating yet? Wait on. You got one more right here. And actually, there's pages here. I got to stop at 3. But after listening to Curt Towne Band, I heard the old souls of Southern rock pouring out of the young men's heart. Southern rock is still alive. Donnie Van Zant, 38 special. How, and I know, and you know, a lot of those guys are from the Jacksonville, Florida area. I get that, but how do you, as an artist, when you hear that, how does that make you feel?
Well, you know, it's funny because I just, you know, growing up playing guitar, you know, I just wanted to do the best I could, and hopefully one day, you know, be known as a guitar player good as some of my friends, you know. Chris Kellum, who's in a band here locally called Blister, he and I grew up in the west side of Jacksonville together, and so he was always, you know, the best guitar player. He'd been playing a few more years than I, and I actually sang for his band originally. And so I thought, man, if I can get as good as Chris, you know, which I may not ever, but if I can get as good as Chris, you know, it'll be really cool. And so it was more, you know, just to be accepted, not in an egotistical way, but, you know, just trying to keep up with the boys kind of thing, or girls, because there's some girls that are amazing guitarists and musicians too.
Absolutely, kick ass. And by the way, one I didn't mention, Curt Your band rocks. Stacy Mitchell, vocals for Kid Rock and Meatloaf. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Thank you.
So,
yeah, it was very cool.
Now, I was reading in this where, because the Jacksonville, Florida area is, naturally where the Van Zants are from and so on and so forth. But I was reading where you actually said, you were actually bagging groceries for Mama Zant. Is that right?
No, I didn't bag groceries. I don't know
maybe
where
I misread
from.
that. Maybe I misread that.
But I think that was another. I think that was Leon John Jack. He had written a review on us as well. But basically, I think what came out of that was the fact of me growing up and seeing Alan Collins all the time. Now, as far as the Van Zants, my grandma, my step-grandmother, lived on Neva Street, which is 3 streets over from the Van Zants, which was a lake shore on Woodcrest. So it was nothing for us to be throwing the football around or baseball, me and my cousins and my brother, and Johnny and Donnie pop in, hey man, throw me the ball. Yeah. and if Johnny's driving down the street right now and they see some kids playing ball, they say, hey man, throw me the ball. So nothing's changed. It's all good.
But did you know at the time that happened, did you really know who you were playing football with?
Well, I mean, they weren't any different than anybody else. I mean, they still aren't actually. They're just great guys. So they don't ever treat anybody any different. So I knew what they did. I knew, basically they're just like you and me. They just got really cool jobs. I mean, that's really ultimately what it is. So they're great guys. They really are. They're very humble. They're just all really good people.
Well, and like I said, I was telling everybody too on air that, I was just talking to you, just doing our sound check, that I can tell you're very humble, you're very grounded. Where did that come from? Is it like you said, your blue collar background? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, first of all, if you don't humble yourself, God will. So I don't want to mess with God. I think it's a lot easier for me to humble myself than to have Him do it. That'd be much worse. But just being respectful of, my parents and my mom doesn't play that. My dad doesn't play that, they're not going to put up with it. None of our parents ever put up with any shenanigans. Of course they had to put up with enough shenanigans, and they tended to us the best way. But I would just say, hey, I love playing guitar. If I can play guitar, I'm going to play guitar. If I can be involved with music and enjoy it, that's what I want to do. That's all I ever wanted to do.
I was reading where you were actually on a panel. I want to say it was something to do with legalities of music writing and stuff like that. And you were talking, and as I was reading that article, I'm thinking, man, you really did your homework on that.
Maybe too much, actually, because on that panel, the only thing that separated me from everybody else was the fact that I never signed a bad deal, which was the problem with that is that, quote unquote, as a record company told me, they said, man, entirely way too much and no thanks. And I was probably about 20 something then. But what I did is I would study entertainment law. As a matter of fact, I just now bought the latest one of Donald P. Passman's books. All you need to know about the music business. I've read every one of them, so this is the latest one, and it tells you all the stuff. Internet. It breaks down how everything works from a lawyer's standpoint. So when Bobby asked me if I would come in and do that, I did, and we had a great time. And I was amazed, at some of the horror stories. Of course, I've heard a lot of them too. So. But it was great, and just to be up there with those guys, Ronnie from Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, and some different bands, it was great.
Well, I want to mention that because what people may not realize, because I read it and they have it. Naturally, they're just listening. But basically, you got into a discussion about, like you said, maybe you learned too much for the fact that. And I'm going to ask this question, and I asked this many, many times of artists that I've interviewed throughout the years, and, both recording, independent. So I'm going to throw it out. And it's a little early in the conversation, but I think it's relevant to what we're talking about. And that is, you have those who want recording deals. They want the labels. They want that. But they give away kind of half their soul when they do that. Then you get people who are independent. They rock the world. They do their own thing. They're in charge. maybe don't get the publicity and everything that the label would bring them. How do you fall on that? Because that's really basically what you were discussing in that panel.
Exactly. Well, I've been very blessed to tour and travel and do a lot of things and play with amazing musicians, and I've been very blessed to do all that. I just, when it costs a lot of money to do those things, and whether it's renting a van and a trailer, or buying a van and a trailer, or getting into a bus and going on an airplane or whatever, it takes a lot of money to get you from point A to point B. And then when you multiply that by people, and you have merchandising, and you have, crew, and you have all the other things that you have, all of a sudden 4 or 5 guys turn into, 10 guys. And so, people got to eat, and people got to sleep, and people got to get there. So when you have record companies, it makes it a lot easier. The only problem is that it makes it a lot tougher to pay back. So you've got to be, really, really selling some records or something of that nature in order to do that.
Well, let's put that in perspective, because I hope I pronounced this right. Kerry Livgren out of Nashville, who actually wrote Dust in the Wind for Kansas, of course, Carry On,
Yep.
And he said he made more money selling 6,000 records on his own than he did all the time with Kansas and Dust in the Wind.
That's correct. He said that. I was standing with Dean Zielinski, actually, and he introduced me to Kerry Livgren, and he said exactly that. And I was stunned because, I heard, matter of fact, I heard Carry On My Wayward Son this morning, so you hear that and you go, wow, but they signed away all of their publishing. They signed away 100% of it, and they, who buys sheet music? That's what they thought it was, and boom, there you go, That's what that panel was. They were talking about various subjects along those lines, about 360 deals and all that. And me being the knucklehead that I am, I read. Believe it or not, I actually read. I squeeze that stuff in. I read.
Good for you,
and
man.
I travel on.
Okay, let me ask you then. With all that said and done, you got, you're a guitarist. I mean, you're a producer, you're a singer, a songwriter. You've got all the goods, but you also know. It's what we all call it, and sadly to say in the business world, the cost to benefit ratio, right? Kind of you got to, what's it going to cost me? What's the benefit for it? It's a business, right?
Sure. Right.
But when you sit down with yourself at night, and you pick up the guitar, or you sit there and you take a pen and pad, what really goes on in your head? I mean, what do you want in the music industry? What do you want to be? Not, I don't mean you personally, but what do you want the end to be? What is your goal?
Well, all right, for me, myself, I can only speak for myself. For instance, with our upcoming album, I want something that my wife and kids can listen to, and, my children can listen to one day, and I might actually be cool. They might go, wow, man, that's all right. He's pretty cool,
I know that.
Your old daughter is extremely hard to impress. I'm just bad, but,
you are.
I'm like, actually, it's kind of a cool thing. Yeah, whatever, Dad. So I hope that one day, they can look back on it and throw it in and go, man, that was pretty cool. And on the other hand, when you expose, your true feelings, and you expose, life that you've lived, then, you open yourself emotionally to other people, and they make a connection. And so with that being said, you hope that it could be, somebody could say, well, man, they went through this too, or, something along those lines, Things Going On by Leonard Skinner. Man, let me tell you something. Growing up on the west side of Jacksonville, that is the song. If you've ever been in that situation, that song comes on, the lyrics, like, man, I know those lyrics. I live those lyrics, and it's just one of those things that you go, man, that's exactly how I feel. So if you can relate that to a song by someone, whomever it might be, and it could be a rocker, it could be rock and roll night, party every day. I just want to have fun, man. I just want to have a good time. I don't want to worry about stuff. And that's great too.
I was reading it, and sadly I don't have it in front of me because, like I said, there was like huge amount of stuff that I'm trying, just like you. I was trying to absorb it all. And
Right.
I was reading something about, I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you will, and I'm glad you will. I want to say it was one of the Van Zants went and saw a live show you guys were doing, and you guys did an acoustic, and they were so impressed that you had like 6,000 people show up. What's that like? What's that feel like?
Well, you know what? It was Bobby Ingram that came out, Bobby Ingram and his wife, from Molly Hatchet, and we were opening up for Montgomery Gentry. And actually, just before that, our drummer, who was in the band, his name is Mike Kanzler, fantastic drummer, wonderful guy, amazing. He got rear-ended by a lady at a red light. He was just minding his own business going to work, and she hit him, and it caused him some major trauma. But he's doing better and better and better. But anyway, so literally, in all sincerity, and my bass player had an accident like the week before and broke his ankle. It was such a Spinal Tap moment. So anyway, we get on stage. I'm literally behind stage, and I'm standing there backstage, and we have all of our live gear. We have, our amps and our guitars and all this stuff. And just to be on the safe side, we went ahead and rehearsed a night for acoustic in case we couldn't do it. And so we went up there acoustic, and we played in front of, like you said, 6,000 or 7,000. I don't know what the number was, but it was quite a few people. And much to our surprise, a lot of them had Curt Towne band shirts on, and we were shocked, but it turned out amazing. We just went up there and we did what we do. And whether it's acoustic or electric, we played just like we were playing electric, no distortion, of course. And we just gave it everything we got. And so it was very, very gratifying, and to see the guys in Montgomery Gentry cheer us on, and of course Bobby Ingram cheer us on, and his wife. So it was really cool. It was great. It was a great experience, and the shock and awe, the look on people's face that didn't know us, and the people that did know us, they expect us to come up there and play, electric. People were dancing, and we were shocked, but we just kept going. It was fun. It was great fun.
Yeah, you talk about that. I did find it here. He says, and this is Bobby Ingram, by the way, from Molly Hatchet, as you said. He said, as I stood backstage, you said you ran into, or whoever wrote this, I don't know who this is, but you ran into Bobby and his wife, Molly. They witnessed history as the band was making tonight in front of 6,000 fans, and they came from many miles around, from Florida to Georgia, just to see you. And they talked about the T-shirts, and they said, all of a sudden, you guys did some limited T-shirt sales. And all of a sudden, all these people showed up with T-shirts that you can't even buy anymore. That is true.
And it was, it's been amazing, because we've had, we prefer to say friends because we've been making friends. It's hard for us to say fans, but we've been making friends along the way. And we've had friends that have driven from Pensacola to come and see us play. And we've had friends from Folkestone, Georgia, and fly in from as far as Massachusetts, or drive in from Miami or Fort Lauderdale to see us play a 30-minute set is again very humbling, and we're amazed by it. But the thing is that we know that when we get on that stage, it's a privilege, first of all, and we know that we pour everything into it, because how else, if they pay for, like when we're opening up for Blackberry Smoke, so if they pay $30 or $25 or whatever, mm-hmm. We could never pay them that back in, money-wise and show-wise. We pour our heart and our soul into it because they've spent that time to come there. I could never pay them back for that time that they've given up, to watch us perform. So we'll pour out everything we got and enjoy every minute of it, and be very grateful that they're there and that we're allowed to experience this with them. So that's how we approach it.
You talk about that, though. You guys did a kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a tour or a gig or whatever terminology. You guys hung out on a cruise boat, didn't you?
Yeah, that was very cool. That was an awesome experience. Six Man, which is the cruise company, they did a great job. I think we were on the Norwegian Pearl, but the company that puts it on is Six Man, and they did a fantastic job, completely professional. It was amazing. But Johnny Van Zandt invited us to do the cruise. So we did the cruise, and I went and saw Devin Allman, who was awesome, and went and saw Devin Allman in the room that we were going to be playing. And I said, wow, this is pretty cool, you know. And so basically what happened when we got in there, people didn't know who we were. They had no idea who we were, but we played the Cellaway because we were one of the headlining bands. So what happened was we played right before Blackberry Smoke and Foghat, I think it was.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was really cool. So we went out there, and you got to pick 2 songs as a tribute to Leonard Skinner because they weren't going to be doing any more Simple Man cruises. They'd done so many. So we picked Skinner Nation, and we also picked Needle in the Spoon. So it was a tribute. What better tribute to Skinner than, hey, it's a Skinner Nation, man. We're all in this thing together. We all love Skinner, right?
Right.
And Needle in the Spoon, you know, for the original era, as far as, you know, the beginning of it. And, you know, they're rocking songs, man. They're great. So it was, I'll tell you, the heat was on, though, because I knew all of the band was going to be watching me. And they said, Curt, we're going to watch your band, man, all of us. Oh, man, talk about pressure. You know? So anyway, I'm like, oh, great, you know. So, which was awesome. It was great. We had a blast. But that was our introduction to everybody. You know, they said, well, who are these guys? You know, the Curt Towne band. What is this about? So, you know, we would get in there and we would play the Spinnaker, which was this part of the ship that we were playing. And we were able to watch the crowd kind of double every night, which was awesome because the first night I'd say about a quarter full. And I thought, wow, man, you know, a good amount of people showed up. But then again, nobody knew us, and it was way off the beaten path. I said, well, hey, you know, we'll just keep working it. We'll keep working it. Well, the next night, it kind of doubled from that. By the last time it was packed out. It was just completely packed out. And so they said, you know, that we did great when our first show. So, you know, to have it out. And the guys from Blackberry Smoke, I found out later, that they came to every one of our shows, which was great. And the guys from Skinner came, you know, various times. Johnny came there, and Ricky came there, and Stacy Michelle, Ricky's wife, and all that. So we had a great time, and we were able to do that. And it was wonderful because we made these friends from Australia, Austria, Germany, France, Barcelona. It was great.
You
and
know,
of course, all over the United States, too, which was amazing.
And you know what, I ask you that, and here again, this is not a canned question, but just because I've, you know, been doing this long enough that I sense where you're going, but maybe I'm wrong, and I always like to be proven wrong. But you were saying, all right, and here's the question, and then we'll go back to what you were talking about that ship, because I just think that's phenomenal. I was reading that story. Okay, you get on the ship, and, you know, like you said, quarter full, you know, so, you know, relatively, it doesn't matter if it's 100,000, it doesn't matter. Relatively, it was quarter full.
Right.
And you're doing your thing. And then next night you come out there and you say, damn, this is like double here. You know,
right.
So my point is, and my question is, do you get caught up in the moment? And what I mean by that is, do you change things because the adrenaline's jumping or the particular crowd you have? Does your show change?
Yes, we read the crowd. So it's like quarterbacks calling an audible. You know?
No, that's a great analogy. That's a great analogy.
Yeah, you're just sitting there going, okay, look, man, the crowd's really digging this, or the crowd's a little sensitive right now. Let's throw in a heartbreaker, you know, or let's, you know what I mean? But we're constantly, James Aaron, who's our lead singer, and myself are constantly forecasting, you know, what the crowd is doing. And so we're trying to work off of their energy, if that makes any sense.
No, it does, absolutely.
So we're trying to determine by, you know, people's expressions, and you can tell when people are excited, and you can tell when people are not digging it, and you can tell when you need to really amp it up and you need to slow it down. And so that's what we do. But now take in mind, we're playing original music that no one's ever heard. So it's sink or swim. You know, you're like, hey, what about this number? You know, so you just go out there and you pour your heart and your soul into it. you believe in it, because, I mean, we believe in it.
Sure.
So we believe in it, you know, we just put it out there. And, you know, hopefully people, you know, will, you know, have an emotional tie to the music of whatever it might be, to whomever, and go with it. You know, some people, it's funny, because What You Gonna Do, which is the first song on the EP, and Long Live My Country, which is the last song on the EP, are always like battling who loves what the most, song-wise. So people say, man, What You Gonna Do, that's my song. I love Long Live My Country, but What You Gonna Do is my song. And then other people go, man, I love What You Gonna Do, but man, Long Live My Country is awesome. You know, and those are the ones who are the most. And then in between, though, you know, you got guys like, man, you're going to get me a speeding ticket with all or nothing. I keep driving fast, you know, so, you know, or, you know, if it's, you know, Maybelline, you know, it's just, you know, whose dog is that? You know, so it's, you know, but it's all true. So, you know, everybody's got their favorite, which is a great place to be, you know, so it just, as far as that, it's, you know, you can kind of feel, I mean, we've been doing this a long time, so you can kind of feel, you know, the mood of the audience, and hopefully you can respond correctly.
You know, and I find that admirable, to be honest with you, because, you know, even, and I'm not staring thousands of people in the eye when I'm on air, but, you know, I can sense just by, you know, social media, feedback, okay, this isn't working. So, and I don't think, you know, people may say, well, then, no, it's just you want to do the best you can be. You know, you want to be the best you can be. You know, just like our veterans out there, and just like you artists or whomever you are, you don't want to go out half-cocked, half-assed. You want to be the best you can be. And so, you know,
absolutely.
And I really appreciate that. I mean, because, you know, I've gone to concerts. I've paid money, as you say, to watch somebody. And, you know, sometimes, and I won't mention their name, my wife and I went and saw a concert here, and it's just like, oh, well, I'm disappointed. And so,
sure.
You know, and I'm sure you've done that as well. So I really appreciate you, you as you say, reading the audience, because I think that's so important that you have flexibility.
Well, you know, the thing about it is it's really not about us.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
You know, we're playing music that we love, and we hope that other people love it too. But it's not about us. I mean, it really is about the audience. I mean, in all sincerity, if we're lucky enough, if we're blessed enough for Molly Hatchet to allow us to open, or Skinner, or like Blackberry Smoke, you know, and they're so gracious to allow us to open up these shows, right? I mean, it's their audience. It's not our audience. It's their audience. They're being gracious to us. Those are fans of music just like we're fans of music. The only difference really is the fact that we're up there and they're in the seats. Now, if I go to see them play, guess what? I'm in the seats.
You damn right.
And they're up there.
That's right.
So, you know, we all share that love of music. If that makes sense.
No, absolutely it does. And by the way, before I forget, I want to give a big shout out to all your members of the Curt Towne band. That is James Aaron, the lead vocal, guitar, harmonica, and songwriter. Also, Greg G.T. Thompson, who is your bass player and backing vocals, and Ben Williams, the drums. So don't want to forget the band. I mean, it's all about who make us who we are, right? So
correct.
You know what? I really, from the bottom of my heart, I told you that via text. I've told you that now about 4 times. You're probably getting bored with it, but I really do appreciate you taking the time out to be here with us, because, you know, we have a lot of people around the world, both our veterans, first responders, and people who just love great music and great entertainment. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that I really appreciate you taking that time to be here and to share your life with us, a little bit about you that people may not hear or get a chance to read. So, Curt, thank you for that.
Well, you know, and I thank you, and in all sincerity, you're giving us a platform to be heard, and I can't thank you enough for that. Now, I wanted to take a minute, if I can, to with all sincerity, personally thank all of our veterans, all our current military, all our first responders, and the nurses, because they've told me several times you can't forget the nurses. And
my wife's a nurse, so yes.
Yes, so thank you, because I'll tell you what, I'm the one who's going to hold her and go, please help me when there's a nurse, you know, so... But you know, we sincerely thank them. My grandfather was in World War II, so if you go on our website, Joey King, he's awesome. He's our media manager, and he's the one that put the video together for us. And it's at Steady Rockin' Productions. He does a great job. and his grandfather and my grandfather and my uncle are in the, it's a tribute video, really, to our first responders and military. But he's the one that took those World War II pictures. And except for, like, the one, the big something or another, I don't know what all this stuff is, it's like D-Day thing. We got that from somewhere else. But all the pictures my grandfather actually took. And my grandfather's in a wheelbarrow with his cousins at Pearl Harbor, okay?
Wow.
The day before Pearl Harbor. His cousins are still on the Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah. So, James Aaron wrote the song. He wrote Long Live My Country. He brought it to me when we were in the Randall Hall Band. And so I said, well, man, it's a great song. And so it's great, man. We need to pitch it. And I said, but it needs a bridge. And so we worked on the bridge and we worked out those parts and, arranged it and whatnot. But he wrote the song. He's the guy that wrote that song. And so, he did an amazing job. It's from his heart. And so when we play out, you want to talk about something very humbling. One of the first times we played that, we were doing some warm-up gigs, kind of sneaking in under the radar,
Mm-hmm.
and we would do like benefits and charities, and we still do. When we're home, we do a lot of that. So anyway, we were in there, and we played in a Legion, an American Legion, and we were playing Long Live My Country. And I kid you not, a veteran, probably about 70s, in the 70s, when I was playing my guitar solo, stood up and saluted us.
Oh, wow.
Man, we about started crying because it was that emotional. It was that, and then all these other veterans stood up and started saluting us because he did. I don't know if anybody's got on video or not, but I would love to see it. But it was amazing, the impact. And then to have veterans come up and thank us is, how can we thank them enough? How can we thank veterans enough? We can't. So then, we had a husband and wife they brought about 5 or 6 flags, American flags, and they just brought it out during Long Live My Country and started waving it. And the next thing you know, they're bringing more and more flags. And so we see all these flags.
Oh, that's so cool.
That are waving. And it's amazing because it's not just about the song. It's about, thank God we have the Second Amendment.
Absolutely.
Thank God we have the veterans in the military who protect us. That's what their job is, to protect us. And thank God we have God. We have the Bible. And if you don't believe in God, that's cool, man.
Yep.
That's fine. That's your right, and we have no problem with it. But we're at least, we're allowed to pursue that if you want. And we're grateful for it. So
I got to
when
tell
you have that, it's amazing.
I got to tell you, literally, and people are going to think I'm crazy. Literally, I have goosebumps because, not only am I proud to be a father of a veteran, and not only am I proud to be a son of a veteran, I'm also proud that I got to wear the uniform as well. And when you talk about that, when that guy stood up and saluted, I kind of get it. I was a post commander and I was a district commander for some veteran service organization. So, man, and if they did that, believe me, being one of them, I guess, I was privileged to do that. Being one of those, if they did that, Curt, I'm telling you, you touched a nerve that maybe we need more of.
Well, I tell you, I, for one, love America. And not that I don't appreciate and love other countries.
This is our country, right? This is our country.
That's right. But this is the country that we're born in. Now, imagine this, right? My ethnic background, my mother is, believe it or not, Mexican and Irish, and Spanish, because her mother was Spanish and Mexican, so and Irish. And then my father's predominantly Cherokee Indian and some other Indian and such. So I am an American. I am a melting pot. I am American. I mean, that's what I am. That's what my nationality is. I'm an American, And how cool is it? Because everybody that I walk up to and I see, for the most part, are just that. They're Americans. They bleed red, white, and blue just like I do, And so to be proud of where you come from, do we get it all right? No, nobody does.
You're right.
Nobody has. But do we do more for others than any other country has ever done in the world still to this day? You better believe it. We certainly do. We go out and we give aid to those. I mean, we're the first ones. And it's not just it's not a bragging thing because, you know, when's the last time you ever heard of us saying, okay, we gave you all this, we want it back?
Yeah, pay us back, right?
Read that.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so it's, you know, and for us as Americans, now let's put the politics aside, us as Americans, when a tragedy happens, who responds? We do. We give to our brothers and sisters. Man, that's something to be proud of.
Absolutely right. And you know, and that's why I'm a very passionate person, not only with our active duty, but you know, you have your reservists, you have your National Guardsmen and women who are there, who live a dual life. So
yes, they do.
And so you know what? I could guarantee you we could go on and on and on for about another hour. Because I mean, I just feel that you got the goods, man. And I want everybody to, first of all, once you go ahead and let everybody know how they can get your EP, and I think you got a full-blown CD coming out, don't you?
We do. As a matter of fact, you can go to www.thecurttowneband.com. So that's Curt with a C and Town with an E. Curt Towne, thecurttowneband.com. Or you can like us on Facebook at Curt Towne Facebook. I guess what it is, facebook.com/CurtTowneBand. And as far as the EP, we have Long Live My Country on iTunes right now. That's the only song we have on iTunes. We've been selling our EP through our website and stuff like that, so they can get it through there. And it's going to be limited. Our album is going to be done February. That's our goal, to have it done for the Blackberry Smoke Show. So it's the common thread, like the EP, is it's very specific in what song goes into the next song, because we want that flow. We want it to be, man, I can't stop listening to your CD, you know? Sure. And so that's the goal. And so we're working with Martell Studios in Kingsland, Georgia, who's phenomenal. I mean, he's even had bands. He had a record label, pull a band from Japan, flew him in from Japan to record with him.
Wow.
That's saying a lot, you know. He's, major in independent labels. And so we're working with Stan, and he co-produces with me. And, of course, Aaron and I arrange everything. So you can't take Aaron out of the equation, James Aaron. And so we work really hard. I mean, we have a great team, whether it's Joey, doing our media management, which is, phenomenal. And whether it's the band itself, everybody contributes. Our members contribute. Nobody is told, hey, play this part. We suggest things and whatnot, just like anybody else does. But, we focus on the music, and we put our egos aside. We go, hey, look, it's all about the song. That's what it's about. So the album itself, we're very excited about it. If you like the songs that you heard, the songs that we're putting on there, I think you may like even better, or hopefully as much. But I really honestly believe, not just because, everybody goes, man, this is our greatest thing, we just put it out. We have 2 solid albums worth of material, and possibly working on a 3rd album as far as material, right? But as far as the album, getting the actual press disc, it will be February.
You know what? I just listened to everything you're saying, and like I said, I just said it. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. You guys got the goods. You got the heart. You got the soul. You're doing it for the right reasons. And I just want to say, once again, ladies and gentlemen, go out and buy the Curt Towne Band EP. Go out and buy their song on iTunes, Long Live My Country. These guys, Curt, they have the goods. They're doing it for the right reasons. And not only that, they entertain the hell out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been our privilege, my privilege, to have the Curt Towne Band and the guy who the band's named after, Curt Towne, hanging out with us for the last 30 minutes. Isn't that cool? Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much, and I hope that you'll have us back, and I look forward to talking to you anytime.
Oh, my gosh, absolutely.
And again, I thank you because, just giving artists a platform to be heard is fantastic. And so, if the audience would let us know what they think, go out and listen to it. They can go on YouTube. They can see live footage of us playing. They can, probably see me playing with a lot of people, actually, but they can look at the Curt Towne Band and they can see that. And we'd love feedback, if they would go to our Facebook, like our Facebook, and, do that sort of thing and say, hey, I heard about you guys. That would be fantastic. We would love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we kept talking about the Long Live My Country, Long Live My Country and Our Country. Here is the Curt Towne Band. Guys, crank it up, enjoy, and let the man and the band know you heard him right here on American Veterans Radio.